Before we get started, I just want to say that over 70% of people who listen to this podcast every single week are not even subscribed yet. So if you've been learning, growing, or just enjoying these episodes, please hit subscribe. It helps us reach more people who are truly ready to take control of their health. And it means that you'll never miss an episode that could genuinely change the way that you feel. Hello, healthy community, and welcome back to the Health Formula Show. I am so happy that you are with me here today because this is one of those conversations that I wish everyone on the planet could hear. And I cannot tell you how many times someone comes to me month after month after taking antibiotics and they're like, Paula, I don't understand what is happening. My digestion has been so weird lately. I'm reacting to foods I've eaten my whole life. Like my bloating is out of control. My energy is so low. My mood feels completely off. My skin is flaring and I catch every single cold. And when I ask, did anything change before this started? The answer is almost always, no, not really. I mean, I did take antibiotics a while ago, but that was ages ago. And inside, I'm like, yes, that was the moment everything shifted. So if you've ever taken antibiotics at any point in your life and now your gut feels off, or your immunity feels weaker, or things fully have just not gotten back to how they used to be, today's episode is going to make so much sense. Now, before we dive in, if you missed last week's episode on low iron and why so many people are misdiagnosed, save it for later today because it's one of those episodes that just clicks everything into place. We spoke about the real root causes, so like gut imbalances, inflammation, hormonal issues, mineral deficiencies, and honestly, if you're tired all the time, that episode is a must, for real. Now, let's get into today's topic. Antibiotics. Let me start by saying that antibiotics saves lives. Yes, they have a time and place. And when they are truly needed, they are incredible, life-saving. But the problem is not the antibiotic itself. The problem is that no one explains what happens to your gut after you finish the prescription. No one explains how long the after effects can last. And nobody explains the chain reaction that antibiotics can create inside your body. And just to be clear, doctors are not doing anything wrong. They are trained to be incredibly cautious because missing a true bacterial infection can have serious consequences. So often they prescribe antibiotics just in case. Part of it is time pressure. Part of it is diagnostic uncertainty. And part of it is the system that they work in. Okay. And yes, there's this pressure that exists. Well, doctors don't want to risk missing something. Their intention is always to protect the patient, but the unintended consequences on the gut are not always explained. And that's the problem. So let's talk about what actually happens after antibiotics, because this is where the myth completely falls apart. The myth is that antibiotics only affects the infection. The reality is that antibiotics wipe out everything, the bad and the good bacteria, okay? The good bacteria that keeps your gut, your immune system, and your hormones in balance. And I'm going to give you a quick case study because I think this is very, very important. So I had a client, I'm going to call him Alex for client confidentiality, that took antibiotics for a sinus infection, okay? And this was not too long ago. Nothing major, just standard course. He felt fine at the time, no digestive issues, everything seemed normal. But about 6 weeks later, he started to notice very random shifts. Bloating after meals, weird reactions to foods that he never reacted to, low energy, he had brain fog, his skin started to break out around, his mouth and the jawline. And he had 2 colds back and back, which, something that he never used to get. And he had no idea that this was connected to the antibiotics that he took weeks before. And for women, there's an extra layer here, vaginal thrush. So many women get thrush after antibiotics and they think it's just bad luck or bad timing. It's not. There's a reason that this happens. Antibiotics are antibacterial. They're not antifungal. So when they wipe out the bacteria in your gut and your vaginal microbiome, they leave empty space. And yeast loves empty space, so it overgrows. Okay, that's why thrush is so common after antibiotic use. And it's not your fault. It's certainly not your hygiene. It's literally your microbiome trying to rebalance itself. Okay. So let's break down what's really happening inside your body, because remember that antibiotics don't just kill bacteria, they disrupt the entire ecosystem. Okay. So the first thing that happens is a huge drop in microbial diversity. And this is the number one marker of gut health. Antibiotics can reduce your beneficial bacteria by up to 30 to 50%. And when diversity drops, everything becomes harder. Digestion, nutrient absorption, serotonin production, which is your happy hormone, immunity, inflammation control, everything. Your gut bacteria, they make short chain fatty acids like butyrate and acetate that are responsible for healing your gut lining, for lowering that inflammation, and for supporting your immune system. So when antibiotics wipe out the bacteria that create those compounds, then what happens is that your gut lining becomes fragile. It damages your gut lining. And that leads to the second root cause, fungal overgrowth. Remember that antibiotics, they kill bacteria, but they leave fungus alone. So candida expands. So for women, this shows up as vaginal thrush. For men and women, it can show up as bloating, as cravings, cravings for sugar or carbs, carbohydrates, brain fog, rashes, fatigue, constipation, diarrhea, or this feeling that your digestion is just like slower off. And the third thing that happens is damage to the gut lining. Your gut lining is one cell thick, one cell. So when you lose the bacteria that protect and nourish that lining, that single layer becomes way more permeable. And this is what people call leaky gut. But I like to say that a fragile gut lining, okay, it's a fragile gut lining because that's really what it is. It's a weakened barrier. And once that barrier becomes fragile, food particles slip through and your immune system starts reacting to things it never reacted before. And that is when people start saying things like, oh, I don't know why, but like now tomatoes upset my stomach. I can't eat chickpeas anymore. I used to eat almonds all the time and now I react, to all of these foods, or I literally can't tolerate dairy anymore. It's not the food, it's the gut lining. And the fourth system that takes a hit is your immunity. Big time. 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. So when your microbiome is disrupted, your immunity becomes weaker and way more reactive at the same time. You're more likely to pick up infections, to pick up viruses, coughs, sinus problems, all the things antibiotics are prescribed for in the first place, which means people take more antibiotics and then, you enter into this vicious cycle and the cycle continues and continues. So I want to explain something here that is very important. Most people believe that taking a probiotic during or after antibiotics is enough to fix the damage. And I truly wish that it worked that way, but it doesn't, okay? Not even close. Because taking a probiotic after antibiotics is like planting one seed after a forest fire, okay? The antibiotic is the fire. It wipes out an entire ecosystem. The trees, the soil organisms, the insects, the roots, the fungi, the birds. And taking a probiotic is planting one tiny seed and hoping that it rebuilds the whole forest. It won't. It helps. It's supportive, but it cannot rebuild what was lost on its own. So you don't need a probiotic. You need to rebuild the terrain. You need diversity. You need fibers. You need minerals. You need anti-inflammatory meals. You need fermented foods. You need time. Okay. So let's talk about that vicious cycle, the vicious cycle that this creates, because this is where everything starts to click. Because you get an infection, you take antibiotics, good bacteria are wiped out, fungal overgrowth expands, your gut lining becomes damaged, your immune system becomes weaker, and you start getting new symptoms. Bloating, IBS, skin issues, food reactions, fatigue, and then you start getting new infections. Sinus issues, suddenly you get UTIs, you get coughs, you get colds. So you go back to the doctor, they prescribe more antibiotics, and the cycle repeats itself. And this happens to so many people, and they have no idea that the antibiotic was the trigger in the first place. Okay? It's not your fault. It's a system. Okay? It's a system problem. And so today, we need to break that cycle, guys. So, how do we actually support the body after taking antibiotics? Because this is where the synergized approach comes in. And I'm not talking about selling anything here. I'm talking about the framework, okay? The framework that I've used with hundreds of clients now. So, first of all, we need to rebuild the microbiome. And this does not mean taking one probiotic. It means eating for diversity, color, fiber, polyphenols, things that feed bacteria, not suppress it. Fermented foods if tolerated. Okay. Simple meals to reduce inflammation. Second, we need to address that fungal overgrowth if present. And this is where we need to reduce sugar. We need to include antifungals, okay, like garlic, ginger, turmeric, oregano. And if needed, functional testing like the organic acid test, which is the best test to test for candida and fungal overgrowth, because this shows exactly what's happening. And then we can create a specific protocol for that. Third, we heal the gut lining. And your lining needs nourishment. It needs zinc and it needs vitamin A, glutamine, collagen, and anti-inflammatory meals. So this is where meals like the meals that we have in the Synergized app, for example, can be very powerful because we focus on gentle cooking, simple digestion, whole foods, nothing inflammatory. Fourth, we support detox pathways. When your gut is healing, your liver needs to be happy. So things like cruciferous vegetables, sweating, staying hydrated, and using tools like a 21-day reset, for example, when needed, can make a huge, huge difference. And then we bring your immune system back, okay? So sunlight, sleep, minerals, vitamin C, magnesium, daily movement, giving your body space to calm down inflammation. And there's one thing that you can do at home that can be, super, super simple. And you can start one thing, not many things that you can start doing at home, and you can start doing it today. Eat slowly, chew your food. Don't take probiotics at the exact same time as antibiotics. Space them at least 2 to 3 hours apart. Don't drink alcohol, okay? Reduce sugar temporarily to calm the yeast. Add the garlic, add the oregano, add the turmeric, add the ginger with some black pepper, cinnamon into your meals. Go for simple, nourishing meals for at least 2 weeks. Don't use vegetable oils. Drink enough clean, toxic free water. Go to bed early. And if you feel like your symptoms have not improved in a long time, then test, don't guess. So functional labs like the organic acid test, the comprehensive stool test, the hair toxic and essential elements test, or the Dutch test, okay? If you feel like hormones have been impacted, these are the tools that help us see the whole picture. The point is that your symptoms are not random, okay? Your body is responding to the after effects of antibiotics that no one ever explained to you. And once you understand the steps, you can absolutely break the cycle because your body wants to heal all the time. And trust me, it's trying to heal every single day, every single second, but it's your job to give it the environment to do so. And with that, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. And if this episode helped you, please send it to someone you love who has been struggling since taking antibiotics. It might change everything for them. And before you go, take a moment to acknowledge yourself for wanting to become the healthiest version of yourself. Before you head off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a weekly episode. We cover everything from functional medicine to gut health to hormones to weight loss to skin health to natural beauty, you name it. All of the topics that truly matter. And if there's something that you would love me to cover, just drop it in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.